Hello, dear friends. Cultivating the mind and the spirit should be an everyday thing, but few do it. Open in peace. Unresolved matter. The art of letting go. All that is hidden will be known. Incompleteness is emerging. All that needs healing is coming out. I can complain about everything, or I can let go. Saudi Arabia wants to join the BRICS group. China's banking system is on the brink of collapse. Secret emergency meeting of world banking chiefs. The three-dimensional paradigm is building big structures. The fifth-dimensional paradigm is about letting go and free flowing. Squeeze you like a tube of toothpaste, and it all comes out. The door of the heart is the gateway to higher dimensions. In the higher dimensions, you don't build with effort but with intention. Scientists call for oceans to be recognized as living beings with rights. Let's start. A file subject or unresolved matter is an issue that has not been solved and is awaiting resolution. Asignatura Pendiente was the first feature film by Spanish director José Luis García, which was one of the biggest successes of the Spanish political transition in 1977. There is a big difference between dreamers and creators. Dreamers are happily simply fantasizing about a better life or a more successful future, or living in a 5D Nova Gaia society. They are continually dreaming but take no action to turn their desire into a physical reality in their life. Creators, on the other hand, are visionaries. They envision a happier, brighter, more peaceful and abundant future, and then actively participate in making this future happen. Tension. According to Steve Biko, we all seem to be tense right now. Incompleteness is emerging. All that is hidden will be known. Everything that is not nailed down is blowing up. All my dislikes, grievances and resentments are emerging, not as thoughts but as feelings. When you notice a quiet place in the midst of all the noise, you notice a pattern of what may be happening internally. You can have the direct and immediate perception of the ultimate emptiness because people have had it. The sages testify to the fact that one can perceive directly and immediately ultimate emptiness. Krishnamurti says that it cannot be approached directly. It has to be dragged in. I snake up on it because it must be approached indirectly. I realize that I can take one of the two positions of everything. On everything. I can complain about it, or I can let go. The fifth-dimensional paradigm is flow. It is not worry or force. Letting go allows us to flow. The third-dimensional paradigm was a structure. We built everything imaginable, extending our capacities in every direction. We traversed the oceans and the air. We entered other environments such as the sea and the space. In the fifth dimension and above, you build not with effort but with thought and intention. Therefore, you can afford to flow. We are convinced that we can flow or build with thought. As long as we are convinced that we cannot, we cannot. According to Archangel Michael, it is the feeling, the experience, and even the deep knowing that you are not stuck, you are not limited, you are not confined by what has previously been identified as time and space. You leave that behind and you enter into the flow of the universe, which is how we operate. You can practice right now by simply allowing yourself to be in the flow. You don't have to be at the mercy of a clock. That clock was meant to mechanize you and keep you in control. If you do this, you will be training yourself to become more attuned to the natural flow. I think you'll like it. For Buddhists, it's about doing wholesome actions, abstaining from harmful actions and purifying the mind. Abstain from unwholesome actions. Do wholesome actions. Purify your mind. This is the teaching of all Buddhas. They squeeze me like a tube of toothpaste and everything comes out. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I have to let go and flow. If I don't, my fuselage will crumble. I suspect the next step for all of us is to throw it in big time. What's there to release? Old baggage. It's your problems. It's your collective false belief systems. There's no need to put anything in its place. The next thought will arise without our help. I would compare our situation right now to being at a non-competitive swim meet or event. There are our teammates waiting at the finish line to greet us. We just have to get to the finish line like everyone else. I have been told that the energies of affection are more powerful on the planet now than at any other time in history. They are pushing us upwards. I believe that all our pain will go away if we cross into the fifth dimension. All the time there is a continuous stream of energy that increases our level of consciousness, that rises rapidly, and so the Great Awakening spreads. Salusa said. So powerful are the energies now that those who are committed to darkness and who do not ascend are likely to live. Divine Mother says, in quotes, those people who simply say, no, I don't want to do this, will be taken home for reconstruction, because they cannot embody the energy level of love, because that is what ascension is. It is simply because they cannot continue, and the merciful thing to do is simply gently and kindly take them home. These are all labor pains. When we get to 5D, all the pain will be gone in a snap of the fingers. The moment you settle into the hug, all pain and discomfort vanishes and bliss appears. More specifically, the heart gate called Hridayam in Sanskrit is the gateway to the higher dimensions. In the face of the powerful energies of tenderness that are hitting us now, I believe that what awaits us is to ride on them like a wave of the Buddha, to reach the fifth dimension. No, we will not go anywhere, but will settle in our own universal self in an ocean of bliss. To summarize, the ever-increasing energies are probably causing discomfort for many, to say the least. The answer, I believe, will be found in releasing all that arises and flows. Flowing in the energy of caring and tenderness is a definition of higher dimensionality. Reset news. A food and energy shortage is developing, as grain and coal shipping on the Mississippi is so dry that barges cannot move. The Fed posts its first trading loss in history as trading in bonds and pension funds plummets on the stock market. Most Fortune 500 companies go bankrupt, including Vanguard and BlackRock. Global banking elites hold a secret emergency meeting as the outlook rapidly deteriorates, according to Michael Cowan. Morgan Stanley warns that it's not over. Expect another crisis, more debt and higher inflation, says Gregory Manarino. Germany could close hospitals due to high energy prices. Scientists call for oceans to be recognized as living beings with fundamental rights. The initiative began in 2020 with the aim of transforming ocean governance, as most of the marine ecosystem lies outside any jurisdiction, being in international waters. Deploy. Self-inflicted global crisis. The sequence of political and economic events so far this year leads to the conclusion that the current global crisis is self-inflicted. The global economy was coming out of the health crisis with a strong rebound after 2020 debacle, and with prospect of continue on a path of recovery. But the war in Ukraine and the economic sanctions of Russia radically changed this scenario in a global crisis self-provoked by foreign and monetary policy. Stephen Van Metre says China's banking system is on the brink of collapse as the yuan sinks. China is tinkering with its banking system as it tries to keep the yuan from collapsing. With the world economy slowing amid a global dollar shortage, China is likely to be forced to devalue yuan to prevent its bank from becoming insolvent. Americas. The arrival of Venezuelans in Mexico is on the rise. Thousands of Venezuelan migrants are blocked at the US-Mexico border. Peronism celebrated the Day of Loyalty in Argentina divided. Argentina warns of US military presence on the Paraguay River. The flooding of the Paraná River keeps the authorities of Argentina and Paraguay on tenterhooks. Argentina's judge calls for the arrest of Iran's vice president in connection with the Jewish mutual bombing. Chile commemorates the third anniversary of its social upheaval. Bolivia commemorates 19 years of the gas war in El Alto. Bolsonaro says that the Brazilian armed forces are investigating whether there was electoral fraud. Middle East. Algeria seeks to strengthen its economy by relaunching mining projects. Saudi Arabia wants to join the BRICS group, declared South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who has just returned from an official visit to the country. He added that the Arab country is not the only one seeking to join the organization. South Africa confirms that Saudi Arabia will join the BRICS alliance with China and Russia and distance itself from the US. Saudi Arabia, the largest US export market in the Middle East, invited Chinese President Xi to visit Riyadh in March, as relations with the US have failed, the Wall Street Journal reported. According to a CNN report, intelligence agencies have assessed that Saudi Arabia is manufacturing its own ballistic missiles with the help of China, a relationship that could have a domino effect on Middle Eastern countries. Saudi Arabia announced in March that it was considering accepting the Chinese yuan instead of the petrodollar in future transactions. In July, Saudi Arabia was invited to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the BRICS. Ukraine. The European Union is considering paying for Elon Musk's Starlink internet for Ukraine. Russia destroys 30% of Ukrainian power plants. British military ex-pilots train Chinese military, says UK Ministry of Defence. Cross accusations between Greece and Turkey over the discovery of 92 naked migrants at the border. Turkey claims that the US gave it assurances about Russian agricultural products leaving the markets. The developed world takes Ukrainian grain to the detriment of the poorest. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.